October of 2023, I set out to execute my big goal of completing the AZT 300. I got through it. I put together a tapestry here of some images and some videos highlighting the big points for me. I love the camping. I love the solitude. Some of the visions I got to capture with the scenery, human kindness, and just the way my preparation was to culminate just in time so that my fitness was ready and my planning was ready, and it was a great ride. You know, 3 of the days had awfully challenging sections, but they faded away and honestly are overshadowed by the great memories. Of course, I could do things differently. I learned some strategies, but overall it worked out and I got to the finish line. For those that don't know, bike packing and the AZT 300 is self-supported, and it took me 6 days and 5 hours. So I just had a couple, actually three opportunities to stop and get food to bring along with me. First stop was the third day. So I went over 2 days with hauling around all my food, and then was able to stop on the third day at a cafe, get a pizza and some drinks. And then later that evening at a market, I resupplied. And then 2 more days went by before on the fifth day, I was able to stop and have at the hotel in Summerhaven, I got, access to a market and stocked up for the remaining 2 days, for the fifth day and the sixth day. So big chunks of time carrying around food. Water was a little bit easier, but ultimately I was carrying, my capacity was 10 liters. And oftentimes I was carrying 5 to 6 liters of water. I had a filter and I would pump. You'll see a couple photos of some tanks out in the desert where I would pump out and filter some water. Along with these map shots, I'm going to interject some videos that I recorded that are interesting as well. But this will highlight day by day as I picked along the trail. At the bottom, you can see the elevation profile, the steep part. About right here is Mount Lemon, and then it drops off into the desert. Well, it's all desert, but into a big basin, and then to the along the Gila River, and then over Martinez Canyon. Holy guacamole. I was riding this ridge line trying to get past the last little hills of the Canela Hills, and wow, it's 2:48. I've been running on just fumes for 3.5 hours. I just laid it down right here. Thing was my pillow for a couple of minutes. I think I have some downhill. Still trying to make the gate. It's looking pretty good, but man, I just don't have any power. I could really use a meal and an ice cold Coca-Cola. The first day, we started at Nogales, obviously, and then it got really hot, probably, I say really hot, but it was probably 85 degrees. And it really hit me hard through the Canela Hills here. This is just super tough section. It got a lot of people by surprise, and I pretty much bonked right here. You'll see in the video, I thought I was gonna make a gate, which is over here. You have to make it by sunset in order to pass the private property. I definitely missed that, and I slept probably somewhere around here at mile 43 or so. There he is.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. All packed up, huh?
Yeah.
Day 2 and 3, like I said, started out in the morning after it got daylight crossing that private property. cruised through here towards Kentucky Camp, but right in this section, a mile 73 or so, it got to be about 90 degrees. And I had to take a first dirt nap, drink an emergency Coke, and just chill and try and figure out the heat. Get to Kentucky Camp about 4, right around here, and was a fly on the wall, seeing some elite riders regroup from the heat, hear them talk strategy and how the rest of their ride was going to unfold, and their speed, their forecast on terrain and how fast to get through it was just mind-boggling. So about 8 p.m., this was the first time I just rode through the whole day and night. So about 8 p.m., about 8:45, I departed Kentucky Camp. This section through mile 100 was really tough for me. And then it opened up and got really fast all the way up until Colossal Caverns. I stopped about noon at the cafe, got some pizza, some drinks, and a couple candy bars, and then went down to the campsites to continue to ride. And it was 100. So I laid up under a spigot, kept myself wet, and took a 3-hour nap. So at 3 p.m., I started riding this section here around mile 125, and it was fast and flowy, single track, some of the best of the route. Worked my way towards Rocking K Market, closed that place down about 8:30 at night, and then I was with Jeff Taylor, we made our way up towards Reddington Pass up in here, and ended up camping there at the end of day 3. Classic mountain biking or bike packing. We got this terrain that it's hard to picture. It's just like trying to figure out the best way to get down, and then at the same time, I don't know, at first I thought it was like a bobcat mountain lion, but maybe it was a family of deer. But I was like, oh my god, I can't put any speed down. Day 4, exiting Reddington Pass towards right in here through Molino Basin. This part was super fun, just like tractoring up single track steeps, and then there were a ton of fast, flowy single track right in through here. But then you can see at the elevation profile, this kicker here, it was about 10 a.m. From like 10 till 11:30, I was traversing these switchbacks, and it felt like I was lifting my bikes over Volkswagens in the heat, and it was a nightmare. So the end of Molino Basin was really tough, and then it got worse. I thought that I would like get through and be kind of cruising through single track and get to the highway, but even this section was hard on me, and I had some technological challenges right around noon time through here, which made my climb 20 miles basically from here, mile 175 to mile 195 was just the worst ever. And it was a huge test for me. You'll see a couple of videos in here. One of them's the beginning in Molino Basin as I departed Reddington. And then I think there's another video as well through here. I'm about 5 miles east of Molino Basin. It's been a good day. It's probably 75 or 80. I'm not sure, but there's the rig. Yeah, this is cool terrain. There's super flowy single track. There's granny gear climbing up steep and like chunky sections that are techy, and you can kind of place your tire and have a lot of fun with it. You could ride most of it. And I'm excited to get to Molino Basin. I'm gonna have a Dr. Pepper and whip up one of those freeze-dried meals. All right, so day 4 ended staying in a hotel in Summerhaven, which is awesome. The resupply store opened up at 10, and that was fine. I needed the rest. I got out of the resupply here at about 10:30 and started the Oracle Ridge down towards Catalina Camp. And it started out fun descending, and then getting out of Catalina Camp and through Dan's Saddle on this Oracle Ridge was an absolute nightmare. I think it took 3 or 4 hours. till we finally started to get to some Jeep trail that we can roll right around here. We get down, I was hopscotching, so Jeff Taylor and I were riding together at this point again, and it started to get fun and flowy as we got through Oracle. In fact, in the evening, there were thunderstorms rolling across. You couldn't hear the thunder, but you could see the lightning. There was a little bit of drizzle, and the terrain was fast, and it was just really awesome. So all through here, I think we camped, so watching thunderstorms into the evening, and then I camped right around this point here at that night. This is the slight downhill. It just rained, so it smells of fresh rain on the dirt, and it's just really peaceful and relaxing to click off some miles and have some nice smells. And not the prettiest of the terrain I've seen, but pretty nonetheless, for sure. I'll show you my ugly mug. That's not gonna be pretty. Caught myself laughing at like this squirrel that was running in front of me. It wouldn't get out of the way, and its little back feet were like propelling itself super fast. Twitchy. It's classic. But yeah, I'm all fired up. Just had some lunch. Crushed Doritos in a freeze-dried spaghetti and meatballs packet, and then a hot chocolate. So, super stoked. Oh God, I'm gonna crash here. Ooh. So really the last leg, day 6, I'll call it, didn't begin so well. I mean, in the evening of day 5, when I camped right around 223, 225, mile 225, I forgot to say that the Cokes that I was carrying in my sleep system popped, so my long underwear was soaking wet. And then I didn't do a good job selecting a campsite in here, and there was a slight incline. I ended up sleeping like a goat on a rock on my knees with my head down on the ground. Got 2 hours of sleep at 2 a.m., just said forget it. It was rolling by 3 a.m. So got to cruise through here. You'll see a couple of great videos with the terrain, slightly downhill, flowy single track, not super fast, but just enjoyable. And then made my way through here, late afternoon. There were some thunder clouds rolling in again as I was through Ripsey section. And I was pretty weary, so the Ripsey downhills and switchbacks were kind of stressful on me. And then I got to the DOT water resupply at the Gila, right about 275. Lightning was coming through. Good Samaritans were asking if I wanted to stay in their home or if I could drive them somewhere. And then I saw the Hansons on the Gila Trail in here. Just a bunch of trail love through this section. Ultimately, right around this point, I slept, probably 5 or 6 hours, and then woke up. Took me a couple hours to get to the base of this Martinez Canyon push, and I couldn't believe how well I did climbing those kickers to the top of Martinez Canyon. You'll see some video there where I have some thoughts. And then basically the 2 or 3 hours to roll to the finish, and that completed the route. Well, should be the last day going up Martinez Canyon, and I've ridden most of it. Somehow my girth, my weight's down. Maybe I'm getting stronger too, but man, it's still a bear. I'm fighting all kinds of don't put the cart before the horse. It's a pretty cool expression, but yeah, need to get to the finish, but getting excited. Stay tuned. This is a good bit. Yeah, why do you do the AZT 300? There are sections that are unbelievably, weirdly difficult that don't even make sense. But then, if you look at this single track, it's well groomed, and there's a lot of it.
in the 300 miles. On top of that, this is the last, I don't know, 15 miles of the ride, and the reward is nothing less than spectacular. Martinez Canyon, it's good to see you again. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna come back and visit you, but love ya. Bloop. Who's that guy? Woo! What up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Did